What's going on, everybody? Good late morning here on Thursday. Quick note before we get started here on the rooting guide. There is a stream coming up in about an hour with the Hawks Nest. We're going to preview the Cardinals game and talk about the Jets game a little bit. You guys know how we do things by now, realistically, but we are going in about an hour, so try to be there. If you are watching this on YouTube, the stream should be starting about an hour from the upload of this video. If you're watching on X, then it's starting basically right after this video goes live. So keep an eye out and come on in and we'll have some fun together. Okay, so rooting guide. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. The rooting guide is starting to really simplify. And it's mostly because even though we still have, 5 weeks of football left, things are getting very binary. And I think that's the case in both conferences, but NFC in particular feels like things are just kind of mostly in stone. Like, if you go over to the standings here and you look at the playoff seeding, Detroit, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Green Bay, those teams are all basically guaranteed to make the playoffs at this point. Washington feels relatively set as one of the wild cards as well, where in order for them to not get the wild card, they'd have to mess up very badly because they have two layups left on their schedule, and those two layups get them to 10 wins, and that should be enough. And that leaves really two spots that are up in the air. You have the NFC West division leader, which could go to theoretically any of the four teams, but you're kind of counting out the Niners, so you're talking about the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams. And then you have the NFC South, which realistically is going to come down to either Atlanta or Tampa Bay. So that kind of feels like the only thing that really matters anymore. Like, Detroit's already at 11 wins, Philly and Minnie are at 10, Green Bay's at 9. Like, these teams are just not going to miss. We would have to see something catastrophic for things to get interesting on those fronts. So because of that, you look at something like the rooting guide, it's actually hard to find games that you even really care about. Like this Thursday night's game, it's a great game. It's going to be a lot of fun, but what is the incentive for the Seahawks to want any one particular thing over another? I guess Green Bay is slightly more likely to fade, but you're in a spot where they pretty much have to lose out. Maybe they can win one more game and be left out, but the way they're playing, it's hard to imagine that even being considered a possibility. So I guess we want Detroit to win, but what's the value? I just don't really see much. And then you get to Sunday, and a lot of these games are just completely duds. Jacksonville, Tennessee, that's a toilet bowl where the Seahawks are not affected at all. Jets, Dolphins, I mean, I guess we want the Dolphins to win so they have something to play for when they play the Niners, but that's pretty thin, right? They may not really have much to play for as is. Like, my understanding is that Miami could win out and still they probably won't make it. So I don't even know if that's going to work out that way. Falcons, Vikings, kind of a tough one, right? Like, I want Atlanta to win the division so that way if the Seahawks win the division, we can beat Atlanta with the tiebreaker because we beat them. But what if Seattle is competing for a wild card spot and Washington falls apart, and then maybe it's Seattle and Atlanta battling it out for the wild card spot, and then maybe the tiebreaker comes into play there, but that seems super unlikely to me. So I kind of want Atlanta to win, but that seems like an unrealistic ask right now. Minnesota, say what you want to say, they keep winning. They just keep winning, and I'm kind of like I still kind of feel like they're, how should I put this? They're not as good as their record, and at some point their getting by this on by the skin of their teeth thing is going to come back and bite them. But Atlanta right now is reeling, so I honestly think I want Atlanta to go ahead and win this game, but I think that's very unlikely. Saints, Giants, strength of schedule, and the fact that the Saints are still technically alive in the playoffs. I guess we want the Giants to win, but I don't believe the Giants have another win in them the rest of the way. So I'm not investing a lot of emotion into that. Panthers, Eagles. Shoot, I don't even know. Like, the Eagles are not going to fall out of the playoffs. They're too good, and they already have too much of a head start. And Carolina's not going to get back in the playoff picture. They're already guaranteed a losing record. They're not going to win that division. They're not going to get a wild card spot. I think they're pretty much eliminated from a wild card spot as is. So, I don't think there's anything here, right? We didn't play either team this year. So, I got nothing there. And usually that's a game I would at least have a little something for. Browns Steelers, nothing. That's an AFC matchup. Has nothing to do with us. Raiders Buccaneers, we'd love to see a Raiders win. That would really help push Tampa Bay down. But, I mean, I'm not wasting energy hoping for it. Not with that Raiders team playing the way they have been. So I guess at least there's something there, but it feels like such a pointless endeavor. It's like trying to root for. It's like trying to root for there being a round square or something. It just can't be done. But okay, I guess we got something there. We get to the afternoon games. You got okay. This is kind of the big one, right? Bills Rams. But if we can't count on the Bills to beat the Rams this weekend, then we might be in trouble here. Like this is kind of a big one, and it should be a given, right? Buffalo's cruising along here. They're stomping everybody. They're feeling good. They're doing great things. Like, it feels like it should be a given, and I kind of feel like that it is, especially if Stafford's injury is something that is going to affect his ability to play. But like this game matters a lot to the Seahawks, but it feels like we're pretty much a shoo-in to get what we want. So even this feels a little bit less intriguing and just more something that will be relieving when we get it over with. And it'll feel like the world is coming to an end if we don't get the desired result, because at that point you just have to throw up your hands and say the Rams are a team of destiny. Bears Niners. I think that we might as well keep rooting for the Niners to lose. I think they're done no matter what. They could win this game. Somebody else will take care of them. They to me very clearly have at least another couple losses left on that schedule. But why not? We're here, right? I will say maybe there's a little bit of an incentive at a certain point to want the Niners to win games just so they hurt their draft pick. But I don't think we're there yet. So while we're rooting for something, let's root for the Bears. Chargers Chiefs, nothing. Right? Like, what am I going to say about that game? Chargers Chiefs, root for whoever you want to root for. And then Monday night, okay, Bengals Cowboys. Cowboys loss would be nice. I'd appreciate that, but is it really affecting anything? Like, look how much is between Dallas and a wild card spot. Like, they have a lot of stuff to get through to even get in the wild card conversation. Now, granted, if they win out, they'll probably get there, so we could definitely use them just being chopped out of existence now. So, okay, we got something to root for there on Monday night, but a lot of these games are just either not interesting to us or not competitive, or there's just too much that is already known. We already know too much. We know that the 3 NFC North teams are all going to make the playoffs. We know Philadelphia is going to win their division. And the questions we have left are more a matter of order than there are what teams get in and what teams don't. But that's the rooting guide as near as I can put it together. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. See you guys in stream.